So greetings everybody, what's going on? This is Tiffany French coming through right here live in effect. So as of right now, I'm not in my best mood because I have a bad sinus. And anybody that go through sciences and having seasonal allergy, if you already know how that is, man, it really messes you up, you know what I'm saying? Especially right up in here, you're very congested, your nose gets stuffy, runny nose, all that extra stuff. So I'm gonna do the best I can with this video. Although I'm dealing with the sinuses, I'm gonna do the best I can. I'm gonna go ahead and do this video and get on this subject, these two subject matters, because they need to be talked about, okay? And one that I'm going to talk about first is dealing with the transgender people playing in the cisgender sports. Now, I hate the term cisgender, so I'm going to use the term gender-specific sports. All right? So there's an article that deals with a young lady who happens to be a female track star that had filed a lawsuit because there was a transgender female competing in the track meets, and she felt that was unfair because it's taking away the medals from other female athletes. And not only that, it's the sports. There's a reason why they make sports for males and sports for females, because that way those genders can compete against each other. So let's go ahead and read the article, and then I'm gonna give my views on it. Oh my goodness. Bad sinuses. Whew. God have mercy. All right. So let's go ahead and read this article. It's called this comes from thegrio.com. All right. So it was written on February 25th, 2021, yesterday. It says female track star on lawsuit to stop trans athletes from competing. Biological males are taking our medals. Now let's check this out. Okay. Less than 48 hours into his presidency, Joe Biden took steps towards protecting the rights of transgender athletes looking to participate as their identified gender in both high school and college sports. Now, a Connecticut high school track athlete has come forward to say she's disappointed that the Justice Department withdrew a lawsuit aiming to prevent transgender athletes from competing in girls' high school sports. Wednesday, Alana Smith, who filed the lawsuit with fellow athletes Selena Soule and Chelsea Mitchell, appeared on Fox News with her lawyer to denounce the actions of the current administration. Last year, when Donald Trump was president, the Justice Department had backed Smith's case. However, Tuesday, U.S. Attorney for the District of Connecticut, John Durham, wrote in a filing that Biden's Justice Department had reconsidered the matter. What a slap in the face. Check this out. It says Smith explained to the Fox News primetime that she and other female-born athletes have really worked hard to get our stories out there, to get people to realize that fairness needs to be restored in our sports and all other women's sports. All right. So she also opponent that the public needs to realize that a lot of biological females have missed out on making it to meets that really matter, and the transgender athletes have taken spots on the podium that belong to biological females. All right. So it goes on to say, as we previously reported last month, Biden made it clear that his administration would be asking federal agencies to enforce last year's U.S. Supreme Court decision that expands the definition of sex discrimination to also include discrimination based on sexual orientation and gender identity. I thought that was already placed. Anyways, children should be able to learn without worrying about whether they will be denied access to the restroom, the locker room, or school sports, the directive states. Adults should be able to learn a living and pursue a vocation knowing that they will not be fired, demoted, or mistreated because of whom they go home to, or because how they dress does not conform to sex-based stereotypes. People should be able to access healthcare and secure a roof over their heads without being subjected to sex discrimination. It says Alfonso David, president of the Human Rights Campaign, has appalled this move as the most wide-ranging executive order concerning sexual orientation and gender identity ever issued by a U.S. president. All right, so, and what I want to do is, I want to play the video of this young lady speaking. Then I'm going to get my thoughts on it.
On the way to a track meet in New York City, Alana and I were talking about what her strategy was going to be for the day. And she looked at me and said, "Mom, it really doesn't matter because I'm running against the boys today. I won't win."
Alana Smith out of lane 4.
Girls 55 is Alana Smith.
7 from Danbury, Alana Smith. And down the straightaway they come. Miller out well, that's Michelle Goff, the middle of the track. Terry Miller to Michelle Goff, Miller.
So even before I get to the track, I already know that I'm not gonna get first place or maybe even second place. And it's really hard knowing that because I know that no matter how hard I work, I won't be able to have the top spot.
Alana is a quiet competitor. She's very humble and she hates to lose, but she doesn't outwardly show it. And she has a desire and a will to win that keeps her going, and she continues to work hard. But it was, as a parent, it's like a punch in the stomach to know that she had worked really hard to get where she was, and because she had to compete against boys, that opportunity to win was being taken away from her.
Women should have the opportunity to be champions. Athletics is an opportunity for young girls to develop self-confidence, to work hard, to see the results, not just to participate, but to win. And when you allow males to come in and to steal those opportunities away from young women, that is not okay. It doesn't just violate Title IX, but it impedes their future athletic and career opportunities as well.
I was approached by a reporter that had previously interviewed Alana many times. And he said to me, "Looks like the math is against Alana today." And that really didn't sit well with me. I asked him, "What about the transgender athlete issue?" And he simply zipped his lip and didn't want to say anything on the subject. That made me feel very frustrated that no one wants to discuss the issue that we all see. Competing against boys in a female sport, that's just not fair.
Look, it's not fair that this issue is resting on the backs of young 15 and 16-year-old girls. This is something the adults in the room should be speaking into, should be pushing back against, and to say, look, this is not something we're going to stand for as a society. Title IX created opportunities for young girls. And that's why it's such a problem to redefine biological sex to mean gender identity. It creates problems like what we're seeing in the state of Connecticut, where biological males can come in and based on identity alone, dominate women's sports. Biology, not identity, is what matters in athletics.
I think the most important thing for people to know is that it's not about that they are transgender, it's about that it's not fair to everybody else in our category because we know that they have a physical advantage over us, and sports is something that should be fair.
All right, so now you heard from them. After watching the video, I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree because there's a reason why you have gender specific sports. There's a reason why. There's a reason why females compete with other females. There's a reason why males compete with other males. If you're going to involve transgender people, then you should make it co-ed if that's going to be the case. But it's not a co-ed sport. Okay? See, what I'm tired of personally, and I'm going to speak on it, I'm tired of the fact that we are forced to accept these things. We are forced to look at a trans person as a biological gender. Like, for example, you tell me, I get angry and I get really frustrated when people, especially women do this shit all the time. Trans women are women. No, they're not. They're not women. Trans women are not women. They are trans women. They're not biologically women. And for me as a woman, I feel that's very disrespectful. And I'm going to say this for many reasons, because after all that we went through as women in this country, especially as Black women, you want me to sit here and look at a man who masquerade himself as a woman, who dress up, put on lipstick and wear the wigs and high heels and call him a woman? That's uncomfortable to me. And then it makes me upset that now we got to share the restrooms with them. If that's the case, make it co-ed if that's what you're going to do. But other than that, there should be a bathroom designated for those who are transgender. Okay? You know, they should have a sign say transgender restrooms. So if the transgender people want to go in the bathroom, you go in there and use the bathroom. But you ain't going to get no different stall. You're going to either get the urinal and the toilet, or you're just going to get a toilet. So there ain't going to be no special type of toilet stool, but there's a bathroom that's designated for you. You know what I'm saying? The neutral bathroom. So one of those little family restrooms that you see when you go to the airports or when you go to a restaurant or something, it's like the little family restroom. That's something that's where they should go and use the bathroom. Not in the restroom where there's females in there, or not in the restroom where there is males. So as far as sports is concerned, I understand where this young lady come from, because I used to play basketball. And basketball, we played with other women. Now, you had women who were lesbians on the team. They were very tomboyish. They looked almost like a boy, but for the most part, they were women. You competed against other women because it gives women an opportunity to showcase their talents. You didn't compete with other men. Not saying that men and women can't play basketball when they outside the park or something. But when it comes to like the schools, colleges, and university and professional, it's separate. So women can compete against each other and men can compete against one another. And another thing I'm tired of hearing, this whole thing about, well, gender is different from sex. Well, if you're going to make that argument that gender is different from sex, you might as well make an argument that sex is, if you're going to make an argument that gender is a social construct, you might as well say sex is a social construct. That's the way I'm saying it. But overall, when people say gender is a social construct, right, they're saying that it's based off of cultural norms and society norms. All right? It's based on gender roles. But when they say sex is not a social construct, they speaking from a state of biology. But because of the biology of that sex, it determines the characteristic of how that person going to be as far as their gender. So women, we carry a certain type of characteristic, okay? We have different our hormones are very different from the males. We carry what's called estrogen. They carry what is called testosterone or androgen. All right. So their hormone factor is different from ours. So we're biologically different. We carry a certain biological trait. Okay. So which determines these genders and the cultural norms, etc. Now, there's some things I may not agree when women are placed in certain categories and men are placed in certain categories. But overall, in general, in order to have a balanced society, you're going to have gender roles because women can be able to do certain things that men cannot do. And men can do certain things that women cannot do. So women, I mean, not women, but people got this idea twisted that men can do everything that a woman can do and woman can do everything that men can do. No, you can't, because you're not built biologically the same. You don't have the same biological traits. You're not built with a structure. So you can't do everything what somebody else can do. Just like they say we are equal. We're not equal. We're not equal. All right. Now, what we have in common is we're humans, but we're not equal. We're different. You in every offspring, you always gonna have a male and a female gender, regardless. Okay, you're gonna have those things. So to sit here and say that we are equal is totally it's totally asinine, because we're not. We're humans, but at the end of the day, men are going to be men and women are going to be women. And as far as Joe Biden is concerned, don't get me started on him. But you know what? This is no surprise, because when it comes to the Democratic Party, right? The Democratic Party is going to look out for the interests of those who are in the LGBT community and those who are illegal immigrants before they look out for the interests of anybody else. The LGBT community is going to be protected regardless. And you know what's making it sad? The transgender women get more protection than the woman herself. And tell me I'm lying. That transgender woman going to receive more protection than the woman herself. As a matter of fact, you can't say much about a transgender person. You can't say nothing about a gay person. Especially when it comes to their sexual activity, which I'm going to go into about sexual liberation. But anyways, you can't say nothing to a gay person when they do sexual activities with multiple people. But when it comes to women that engage or indulge into multiple activity with people, then there's the antagonism. There's the antagonism. Not to say give women a pass to do something, but what I'm saying is the bias that takes place. It's the double standards. All right. But getting back to the concept of the sports, yes, if transgender gonna compete, let them compete with other transgender people. Don't compete with somebody who is a natural born gender. I'm not gonna use that term cisgender. So I'm gonna say natural born gender. Don't compete with those people because they have their own competition. All right. If you want to do something, create a sport program for those who are designated as transgender. If that's what you're going to do. And I'm going to show another article about this transgender fighter, which to me, I think is a bunch of bullshit. The transgender fighter was competing against a woman, and he happened to crack her skull. See, this is why it's not fair, because you are naturally stronger than women. So men are naturally, majority of the time, they are naturally stronger than women. They have more physical endurance than women does. So when you have a transgender woman competing in a boxing match with a woman and get away with cracking her skull, and you make an excuse that, oh, she's a transgender female. Nah, you could cut that shit. Because I look at it like this, where you couldn't compete with other men and you couldn't even stand up to other men. So you had to transform yourself into a woman just so you can go and compete and show your talents. And so you can win all the medals, etc. That's not fair. It ain't right. So let's go ahead and look at this article. All right, so I'm going to read this article. It says transgender MMA fighter who fractured a woman's skull named bravest athlete in history. Did y'all read that? Transgender MMA fighter who fractured a woman's skull named bravest athlete in history. First of all, that's some bullshit. That's some bullshit. But let's go ahead and read it. Okay, MMA fighter Fallon Fox twice broke an opponent's skull to win matches, and he is now he is being praised by some in the LGBT community. Outsports, a sports news website that focuses on LGBT issues in sports, named Fox the bravest athlete in history in a recent article written by Zilliger. Fox, who is an biological male fighting physically weaker females and inflicting life-alternating harm, apparently qualifies as brave because, according to Ziegler, she was the target of a torrent of hatred I have literally never seen targeting an LGBTQ athlete. As intense as the hatred, quote unquote, Fox may have been subject to, it is highly unlikely that the social media comments directed his way was fracture his skull. The title of bravest athlete would have been much more appropriately bestowed on the biological females who dared to enter the cage with a fighter they had no hope of matching in terms of power and athletic ability. The postal millennial posted a commentary on Fox and the women he was in the ring with. Fox, a male to female transgender athlete, destroyed Erica Newsom in a Coral Gables, Florida MMA fight, during which she secured a grip on Newsom's head. With her hands gripping the back of Newsom's skull, she delivered a massive knee, bringing her up while pulling her opponent's head down. The blow landed on Newsom's chin and dropped her unconscious face first on the mat. That was Newsom's last pro fight. But to outsports, a male body person beating a female body person unconscious constitutes bravery. Not only has Fox beat up women in the ring, won every match but has weathered online attacks from the likes of Joe Rogan. I think we can all agree that getting back online after Joe Rogan has knocked you down is far braver than facing another male body of your own muscle mass and size in a fight. Fox also beat Tamika Brents, giving her a concussion and breaking 7 orbital bones, but that's super brave too, taking an unfair male body advantage and using it to give female body opponents brain injuries. Now let's stop right there. Now you telling me this person who's a trans woman is a woman. Did you not read that article? A natural born male giving blows, causing these women to have concussion, serious concussion, cracking their skulls, pretty much trying to end their career. You think that's fair? And here's the LGBT community people saying, oh, she's the bravest person in the world. That's bullshit. Y'all full of shit, and y'all sick as hell for that. You're sick in the fucking head, man. You're sick in the fucking head. If you think that's bravery, that's a bunch of bullshit. Ain't nothing brave about that shit. That's an unfair fight. You got more muscle mass than me. You're physically stronger than me, but you cracking my goddamn skull. Now somebody consider you to be brave? Are you fucking kidding? Why you ain't crack the skulls of these other men out here? Huh? Why you couldn't crack their goddamn skulls? But you gotta crack a woman's skull. You gotta fracture their fucking jaw and shit. You gotta beat them up terribly. You damn near kill both of them. And you want to say they the bravest person in the world. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. This person damn near killed 2 female boxers. And y'all want to call that person brave. Get your shit together. Cut that shit out. That's lame as fuck. It's lame as fuck. I don't give a damn how upset you're gonna get. I don't care if you want to put me in the category of transphobic or whatever. Because it's some bullshit. Okay? This is why you have gender roles. This is why men have certain things that they can do and women can do certain things. This is why you can't have men and women compete in the same sports, because it's not fair. Certain sports, men and women cannot compete against each other in. It's not fair. It's not fair and it's not right. Because more than likely it become an easy win for the male than it would be for the female, especially boxing. It become an easy win. But you want me to sit up here and look at somebody who's a transgender woman and tell me that they are biologically women? You got me fucked up. I don't agree with that shit. I don't agree with the politics. Until they know what it's like to make a transition from girlhood to womanhood, and know what it's like to have a menstrual cycle every month, know what it's like to go through childbirth, know what it's like to have ovaries, okay? Know what it's like to have a cervix, a fallopian tube. Until they know what it's like, then I can say, okay, you're a woman. But you have not made that transition from a girl to a woman. And you have no idea, so you pretty much masquerading yourself. That's just like with Dwayne Wade's son. Now all of a sudden he's a female at 12 years old, telling his daddy that he's a woman. And have no clue what it's like to be a woman. Hell, don't even really know how to be a child, basically. You barely even made it out of childhood. You gonna tell me that you're a woman or you a girl? You don't know what it's like to go through that transition from being a female child to being an adult female or a teenager. You don't know what it's like. There's no way in the hell. So a 12-year-old child who barely even knows about reproductive system cannot sit here and tell me what it's like to be a woman or to be a girl. I can tell you what it was like for me because I went through that stage from being a little toddler, from being an infant to being where I am today. I've been through those stages. The only stage that I have not went through as of yet is pregnancy. That's the only stage I have not been through yet. But all the other stages, I've been through that. Having a menstrual cycle at 11 years old, start to develop breasts at 9 years old and developing pubic hair at 10 years old, yeah. Going through like hormone changes, yeah. I know what it's like. So again, I'm not here to be spiteful or be hateful, but I'm just only telling the truth and I'm being honest about it. I have nothing, I don't have any hate or ill will towards those in that community, the LGBT community, but what I will say is I'm not going to subscribe to all their politics. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I'm not going to subscribe to all the politics. You're not going to sit here and try to convince me that, especially as a transgender, that you the same as me. You're not going to do that. You're not going to convince me. Or you the same as the natural born male. You're not going to do that with me. And it's funny that people try to use science, but let me tell y'all something about science. Science can be biased too. Let me tell you why. Because you have those who may write an article that might represent a political stance. And they might bring in their political opinion into that article. Okay? So you may have somebody who may be a scientist, but that person might be a liberal. And they try to bring their liberal stance into the science. And just like you may have those who's conservative and they try to bring their stance into science. And science don't have all the answers to everything, okay? Everything ain't absolute when it comes to science. So that's why when you read the article, you'll notice that it's a suggest a possibility, more than likely, because they don't have the absolute answer. So there are those who use hypothesis, all right, which they take an educated guess. Like people try to say this whole gay gene. What is a gay gene? You can't even prove that the gay gene exists. Nobody can prove that. So that's an ongoing research for one. And two, it's illogical. It's not factual. It's just a hypothesis. That's all it is. But can't nobody really prove it to be absolute. Can't nobody prove that a person is born gay. But anyways, yeah, that's my thought on this article about the trans people and the gender and the cisgender issue. So where do I stand on this? Trans people need to compete in sports with other trans people and not compete with those who are naturally born males or females. That is my stance. So get your own competition, get your own sports, and compete against each other if that's what you're going to do. Don't try to compete, especially in boxing. Don't try to compete against the natural born gender because it's not fair. It's not going to be a fair match. And that's all I got to say. All right. So now let's get on to the next topic. Let's get on to the next topic about sexual liberation. All right. So there was an article that was written in Atlanta Star. The Atlanta Black Star website. All right. So AtlantaBlackStar.com is a African American website that deals with issues within the African American community and the diaspora and in the African continent as well. So they go through the list of different subjects such as history, politics, economics, social issues, etc. So it's a very good website, one of my favorites to go to. But this topic here about sexual liberation. So one may ask, what the hell is sexual liberation? And what is the benefits of it? Is it detrimental? Is it abomination? Is it misleading? Well, I will give you my views on it, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to read the article that it says. It's called "It Can Lead to Mistakes and Long Life Regret" by a soul artist named Erica Lachey. Caution young Black women against sexual liberation. So if you guys don't know who Erica Lachey is, she has a Facebook page. She always make those little Facebook videos talking about Black liberation, pro-Black, the relationship between Black men and Black women. Very beautiful woman. And there's a video on this article that I want to play as well because I want to hear her views. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and look at this article real fast, and then let's play the video. I hate advertisement. God damn, get this advertisement off here. I cannot stand advertisement. Okay, get this shit off here. Okay, unfortunately, I can't get this advertisement off, but anyhow. All right, so the title is "It Can Lead to Mistakes and Long Life Regrets." Soul artist Erica Lachey cautioned young Black women against sexual liberation. And this was written on February 24th, 2021. So soul artist Erica Lachey has never been shy about voicing her opinions. The gifted singer, songwriter, and musician is pro-Black, and she wears the title proudly. The ideology premates her music and her message. It's why Lachey was compelled to take to Instagram, where she has over 200,000 followers, and do a live video on Tuesday, February 16th. The message: be mindful of who you have sex with, because sexual liberation can lead to mistakes and long life regret. All right. Lachey said she began talking about the topic after seeing a tweet from news reporter Siobhan Summers, who is Black, in which she shared her white husband criticized her daughter's Black hair. This grown man told my 9-year-old the hair growing out of her head looked messy and like a weird mushroom. She asked me in her little voice if it's true, and instead of wearing it out today, she put it in ponytail. Now I have to fight this motherfucker. All right, so it says her rumination about the subject led Lachey to think about a different topic: the sexual liberation of women. She said today's culture encourages women to sleep with whomever they want, whenever they want, and however many men they want. All right. Lachey warned of the dangers of embracing this ideology. You want to go ahead and just have sex with whatever niggas that you want to have sex with, then end up pregnant by one of these fools because you was fighting the patriarchy one dick at a time. Go ahead, do that, and then you're gonna raise a child with a self-hating fool that you had sex with because you was so sexually liberated, Lachey said. Just because the trend is popular doesn't mean it's personally profitable, Lachey said. This tends to be a thing happening in our society that's hella prevalent, where we're telling people to go explore their sexuality and all that kind of stuff, but we're not telling them what can happen with that. In addition to being stuck with a less than ideal parent for your child, Lachey said engaging in unencumbered sexual encounters also exposes people to diseases and glosses over the root causes of bigger problems. All right, so it was a girl on video talking about she had sex for a double cheeseburger, and the girls was like, yes, sexual liberated. Excuse me. All right. Excuse me. I mean, that's prostitution first of all. That's not sexual liberation, and no one cares as to why this girl had to have sex for a cheeseburger, Lachey said. All right. So, and then she goes on right here. She encouraged people to be more choosy regardless of their gender. Whether you a man or a woman, it's not a good look to be out here just sleeping around with a whole bunch of people, Lachey said. There's a lot of ramifications that come with sexual liberation stuff that people are constantly talking about, but no one talks about the end of that. You know what? Thank you so much. Woo. I'm telling you, this allergy is no joke, man. The seasonal allergy is no joke. Having these sinuses and sneezing, oh my goodness, it's no joke. But anyways, I like this woman. I like Erica Lachey. I watch her video constantly and I listen to it because she has a lot to talk about. A lot of the stuff that she's saying is what I've said before in the past. And it's my logic and how I think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play her video. All right. And we're going to listen to what she really has to say. Because this sister got a lot to say. Hold on. Oh, where's the video at? Okay, here we go. So now the video is 19 minutes long, but I'm going to play it because I think it's worth it. So if you want to watch it, cool. If you can't watch it for that long, then I understand. All right. I might stop in between and give my thoughts and commentary on it. Let's go ahead and play this video.
What's up, y'all? Okay, my service is pretty good. I shouldn't have no problems. If y'all can hear me, you know, give me a thumbs up emoji. Y'all know how I like to do. What's up with it? I just want to talk about something real quick. You know, Instagram really is trying to play me right now. Damn. Anyway, I see y'all in here and I see the thumbs up emojis. I just want to talk about something. I went live the other day, probably like 2 nights ago, and I was talking about this tweet that I saw about this woman, you know, and her like some man like making a comment about her hair, her daughter's hair, and making her daughter feel insecure about her hair and all that other kind of stuff. Right now, I talked about how we have to really focus on Black love, because the woman who made the comment about the man who made the comment about this woman's daughter's hair was actually the father, right? And he was white, and so he was saying like, you know, crazy stuff. And I was talking about like, you know, if you are going to be in an interracial relationship, you know, if you want to, I'm not knocking what anybody want to do with their lives, whatever. At least like have these different type of conversations so that you're not like traumatizing your children and having them growing up dealing with self-esteem issues and self-hate and all that other kind of stuff. Right now, I did notice, and that's just like a brief overview, but I did notice like in the comments there was like some like not many, but it was a couple of women who were saying that they have like men, you know, daughters by men, like by Black men, and still have like that same problem of like the hair being an issue and whatnot. Sorry, I'm just looking at the parking control because I just pulled over to the side. You know, out here in LA, they love to give niggas tickets. But anyway, for you guys to ask, I'm wearing a black tourmaline crystal, but the point that I'm making is this, like, this is a whole nother subject, right? Because the issue in that particular live was the fact that this white man had made a comment about his own mixed daughter's hair, about it being messy and looking like a messy mushroom, and how the daughter was then, you know, she felt some type of way and she wanted to wear her hair in a ponytail because, you know, she didn't want sorry, I was looking at the police that drove by. I'm looking at my mirror, sorry, don't mind me. But she didn't want you know, she didn't want her hair out or anything. So yeah, nigga. Tim the Tiger. Did I say niggas? Oh yeah, I say that. Nigga. Nigga. You feel me? Like, if you don't know that by now, leave out of my life. If that's what you're gonna get hung up over, like, leave. You feel me? But anyway, Yes, the police love to give niggas out here tickets. The point of the live is this. Whoever you gonna deal with, make sure you dealing with the right one. Initially, I was talking about, see, y'all love to do this. Initially, I was talking about, the interracial aspect of it. Now, what I'm talking about now is whether or not you with a black man or not. You feel me? We have to vet these people. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no reason why you as a black woman should be dealing with a man that you made a child with and he doesn't value black features. Now, I'm saying, I understand that when you first met him or something, you might not have known this about him and all that other kind of stuff. And this is not a jab at the woman who made the comment, because I understand things happen, but what I'm saying, going forward, we have to vet these people. And that's the reason why I'm not with all this sexual liberation stuff. They love to talk about all that all the time. Oh, we need to be sexually liberated, and women have been oppressed too long. Okay, you want to go ahead and just have sex with whatever niggas that you want to have sex with, then end up pregnant by one of these fools because you was fighting the patriarchy one dick at a time. Go ahead, do that if you want to, and then be pregnant by one of these idiots. And then you got to raise a child with a self-hated fool that you had sex with because you were so sexually liberated, Now, I'm not saying that was the woman's issue, but I'm saying that this tends to be a thing happening in our society that's hella prevalent, where we're telling people to go and explore their sexuality and all that kind of stuff, but we're not telling them what can happen with that. Not only can you have a child with an idiot who's going to give the child that you have all sorts of issues and problems growing up, to where they have to unlearn what they were taught about hating themselves. Not only that, you have the issues of like diseases. That's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't talk about this enough. And the reason why this bothers me is because I have a Twitter account, right? And I feel like I've said this several times. I feel like the stupid people of the world accumulate on Twitter. This is where they aggregate, and they sit there and they talk about all this kind of stuff. It was a girl on video talking about she had sex for a double cheeseburger, and the girls was like, yes, sexually liberated. I mean, that's prostitution, first of all. That's not sexual liberation. And no one cares as to why this girl had to have sex for a cheeseburger. Like, the bigger issue is not the fact that she just wanted to have sex. It's the fact that she's having sex for a cheeseburger. She's so hungry. She ain't got no food. No one cares about that aspects about it. No one cares about that. They just want to say, yes, sis, do you, stick it to these men or whatever, And this is the point I'm making about this. We have to be more choosy. We can't get caught up in that sexual liberation wave and all that other kind of stuff, because it's not good for us. It is not a good thing. You feel me? It's not a good thing. And I know a lot of people might be upset.
Now, right there, what she said was very true and very important. You must vet these people before you have sex with them. You must vet them. Keyword vet. You must analyze them. You must critique them. See, when people walk around and say, well, don't judge me, this, that, and other. Well, how am I supposed to know who I'm dealing with if I can't judge, if I can't vet? If I can't critique you, then I don't need to deal with you. I need to know you. I need to know what type of person you are. So you have to be careful when folks say stuff like that. Don't judge me, because that could be a setup. That could be a major setup. And you can run into failure. So you must vet. You must critique. You must analyze. You must be careful. So what she's saying right now is what I've been thinking and I've been saying all along. Sexual liberation is some bullshit. But when you say stuff like that, the first thing people want to tell you is, oh, you a hater. You a hater. Oh, you mad because you ain't getting some. Or your pussy, they use personal attack at hunting them. It ain't got nothing about, it doesn't have anything to do with my pussy being horrible, or my pussy game ain't on point, or my pussy ain't wet. It doesn't have anything to do about me being miserable, but it's just the reality, because it's about being cautious and being careful and being mindful. Now, you're entitled to what you want to do. If you want to have sex, fine, but be careful who you invite into your bedroom, because you never know. You might invite the enemy in your bedroom. You know what I'm saying? You might be sleeping with the enemy. So be careful. And this goes for both male and females. You know what I'm saying? Be extremely careful who you invite into your home, who you would go, who house you go to, who bed you sleeping in, because you don't know who the fuck you dealing with. And that's all honest truth. So let me continue with the video.
Be upset or whatever. They might not like it, but it's not a good thing. It's so many women who sit up and they're jaded and they're spiteful and they can't stand that men get to go out and I guess be hoes and women don't get to do it either. First of all, that's not a good look either way. Whether you're a man or a woman, it's not a good look to be out here just sleeping around with a whole bunch of people. Because the same way women can get stuck with a fool for a baby daddy is the same way a man can get stuck with a fool for a baby mama. You know what I'm saying? A woman that be putting brothers through hell. They can't even see their own children. Be having to pay child support, all sorts of stuff when they're supporting the children. These are things that I've seen with my own eyes. You know what I'm saying? Men that want to be a part of their children's lives and the mama won't let them. So I'm saying either way, if you are a man or a woman, this whole sexual liberation thing, we got to cut this out, because then people will be in my comments later complaining about the father of their children or the mother of their children when all this could have been avoided. Now, I know your children's are your biggest blessing and all that other kind of stuff, right? You know, they're here regardless. They're here anyway if they didn't already popped up on the scene. But for future reference, let's not get with raggedy people. You feel me? I'm not laying down with any man who I like would not be okay with having a child with. If I've ever laid down with you, it's because I was like, I know at the bare minimum he gonna be there and he ain't on no coon stuff, period. I know at the bare minimum, he ain't going to be telling like the child that we have, oh, something wrong with your hair and it look nappy and it look messed up. So even if an accident does happen, even if I get pregnant and I don't want to, I know that this man going to stick around. He not going to dip out. He not going to pretend like he ain't know me. And if he is there with the child or whatever, he not going to be sitting up saying stupid stuff, you know? So that's all I'm saying. That's what I wanted to get in here and say. And again, to the woman who left that comment, this is not like saying that this is what you did or anything like that. Your comment sparked this bigger conversation. If you do happen to be in the live, I hope that I'm not offending you. But know that your comment sparked a bigger conversation, because this is something that happens. Like there's a lot of ramifications that come with all this sexual liberation stuff that people is constantly talking about, but no one talks about the other end of that. The woman who made the tweet about her daughter's hair and the man saying something about it, she laid down with a man who would look at black women's hair and be like, ugh, this looks a mess.
Fellas, I hope you heard that. You can't just be sleeping. Look, let me say this. Your dick ain't for everybody. Your dick ain't for everybody. And I know there's some simps out there right now that's saying some dumb shit. Okay? There are simps. And I'm going to do a video about simps one day. If I haven't done any, I think I did. But if not, I'm going to do a video directing to the simps. Be careful the woman that you laying up with and you having a baby with, because she might turn out to be the one that is very spiteful. And a lot of you men get caught up on the looks of these women because they got a nice body or they got fat ass, big titties and whatnot, but you don't know their mentality. You don't know their behavior. So even if you do have this one night stand, you better get to know that woman. You better find out who the fuck she is and be able to make a discernment right then and there before you even try to just jump in and give it. You got to quit thinking with your private part and start using your brain. Because in the long run, you get yourself caught up in some shit. So remember, if you don't know this, now you know that your dick ain't for everybody. Be more disciplined. Sexual discipline is the key, not sexual liberation. All right? So let me go back and play sister's video. Let me finish.
Those type of things have to be avoided, is the point I'm making. Whoever you lay down with, like me, I'm choosing to lay down with a black man every time. I don't want to be dealing with nobody other than a black man, right? That's just me. And that's what I would hope that pro-black people decide to do, because like I said before, there's nothing more pro-black than creating more black people. But if you do call yourself pro-black and you want to lay down with an other, whatever, do your thing, but at least make sure the other doesn't look at you and think, ugh, when they see your natural hair. Okay. That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying, you know? Okay, so I see that the girl isn't live. All right, good. Now understand, please, 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 that I'm not trying to offend or anything like that. I'm not trying to, like, your comment, like I saw it and I was like, damn, that's a shame, man. It's a lot of people that still got like a lot of internal self-hate. And then it made me think about like stuff I'd be seeing on Twitter and all of that. So it sparked this live, but I'm not saying that that's you at all. Not at all. Because there's so much stuff that I see on Twitter that encourages crazy behavior, encourages our women to do stuff. And I tweeted about this like a couple of weeks ago. I said, younger women that's on this app, sorry, I'll be looking out for the police. I'm not doing nothing illegal or nothing, but I just, you know, it's a habit. But anyway, I said, younger people that's on this app, younger women, ask yourself why these older women that's on this app keep encouraging y'all to do stuff that's bad for you, stuff that they know is going to have you caught up, know that that's going to have you emotionally toe up, know that's going to have you heartbroken and feeling used and discarded. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why they encouraging y'all to do this kind of stuff? You know, because you see the young girls on Twitter who ain't even had enough experiences to be as jaded as they are. You feel me? Ain't even had enough life experience to be so jaded. Like, why are you so jaded? Why do you believe that black men are the 3 max? Why are you so upset? You know what I'm saying? And then they letting these other women who in their late 30s or something, still single, ain't got nobody that they dealing with, ain't nobody checking for them, ain't nobody sending them nothing for Valentine's Day or their birthday. And they want to be on the internet talking about black men or the weakest link and all. Why are you listening to these bitter Negroes? And then the same ones who be sitting up talking about black men or the weakest link and all the other kind of nonsense, they want to be the same ones who be sexually liberated. If black men are the weakest link and you hate them so much, why you want to have sex with as many of them as you can? It doesn't make sense.
That's a good question. Good argument. If black men are so weak, then why are you so desperate to sleep with them? Why do you want to keep sleeping with somebody that you know that's weak as fuck? That's a good question. She made a good argument. Why do you want to be sexually liberated with them then if you know they weak as fuck? So if they weak as fuck and you sleeping with them, then what does that make you? That make you weak as hell too. But what happened is we're getting comfortable. See, this society has to make it where people get comfortable in their delusion and don't want to see the reality of what they're doing and how detrimental it is for them. So you got people that's praising you in your delusion. The people that's praising you don't really care about you because they sit there watching you suffer. Instead of questioning, where's your psychology at? Where is your logic? But she has a good point. Let me go ahead.
Doesn't make sense. Is that what sticking it to the man? Yeah, I got this nigga right where I want him as he bashing your head into the headboard. That's how I'm fighting patriarchy. Feminism. Letting the nigga slide me anytime he get ready and then going about his business. What are we doing? Young ladies, please don't listen to these old, bitter, dried up, used up women on Twitter. Please, or on any of these websites or apps or whatever, social medias. Don't listen to them. Because it's a reason misery loves company. They miserable and they see the younger women who ain't jaded all the way, who ain't all messed up. You feel me? They see the younger girls and they see themselves in the younger girls. They see everything that they could have been when they look at y'all, younger girls. And then they be jealous. They look at you, they see you're beautiful. They see a lot of people desire you. They see that you got a lot going for you, and they jealous. And then they tell you, these men don't love us. No, they don't love you. Let's be very clear about what it is. They're not rocking with you, not us. Because a lot of women say that black men don't rock with us. Who's us? I ain't never had a problem, never in my life, getting a black man to rock with me. Never. I be having to turn men down. They be like, you don't want me to buy you groceries? You want me to pay a bill? No, you ain't got to do none of that for me. I take care of stuff myself. You feel me? You don't have to do that. You know, you don't have to do that. First of all, I mean, there's several reasons why I don't be letting people just do all that kind of stuff, because, you know, you let a man pay a bill or something like that, then he feel like entitled to you. And I can't have that, you know. If you want to gift me something that I have no control over, I can't tell you no. It just happens to pop up at my house. That's different. You feel me? But if, you know, like I said, I can't have nobody thinking they got dibs on your girl when they don't. You know? That's a total sidebar, but yeah, they don't want us. No, they don't want you. Okay, let's stop telling the not less, like, younger ladies, please don't be listening to them when they be sitting up talking about sexual liberation and all that kind of stuff, have sex with all these men and all that kind of, because I really don't understand. Like, if y'all hate black men so much, some of y'all, why y'all want to have sex with as many as you can? And why, like, what is that? That don't make sense. I'm not having sex with somebody I hate. What are we talking about? That don't make no sense. It don't make no sense at all. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. Don't let these older, bitter women hate on the younger ones that still got a chance at life and love and happiness and all of that, you know? Don't let them do that. All the women that be on Twitter talking that nonsense on Instagram, Facebook, Clubhouse, because they be having some rooms on Clubhouse. Black men don't stick up for black women. No, the niggas around you don't stick up for you. Let's just be very clear with that. Let's be very clear about that.
She right. We gotta be careful when we marginalize a group of people. You know what I'm saying? So I do agree with her. There are certain men that don't stick up for women. You know what I'm saying? There are certain men, there are busters and weak ass niggas. And I'm not gonna lie, there's weak ass niggas out here. But there are those men who care, who genuinely care, who would genuinely stick up, and who would take up for the black woman. There are men who very compassionate. There are men who are very lovable. Okay? So we gotta be careful when we put everybody in the category and just generalize them, because of our experiences with a few motherfuckers who want shit. I mean, and it's gonna happen because once you have gone through experience with a few people, then you're gonna start having this perception. You're gonna create the stereotype that that's how everybody else is, but that's not always true. Everybody's not in the same category. Okay, everybody's not in the same book. All right, so you have to work on yourself, and you have to take your time. You know what I'm saying? You have to be wise. You have to learn from those choices that you made and the people that you was involved with, and become a better individual.
Ask yourself why. You know what I'm saying? Ask yourself why they not sticking up for you. Is it maybe because you're in on the internet calling them the weakest link every chance you get? I don't know. Maybe so. I swear, if I was doing something nice for a Negro, if I went to his house and cleaned up and everything, and when he came home, he's like, oh, these black women stay getting on my nerves. And I'm like, bruh, I'm right here helping you out, cleaning up. I cooked you something to eat, and you sitting up complaining about black women. If you don't close your lips and tell me about what I did for you, You feel me? The black men that's in your life that is handling business, let them know that they doing what they supposed to be doing. Because otherwise that'll make them stop. If I keep trying to do stuff and be helpful to this man and he keep talking about the black women that's bothering him, I'm not gonna be there. You ain't gonna come home and tell me about, oh, you know, the black women, they bother me. I'm not gonna be there. I'm not showing up to keep hearing that nonsense. But we expect black men to do that. All they hear all day long. Black men, the weakest link. Black men terrible. They don't protect us. Well, they be like, well, shit then. All right. You got it. You right. Let me slide out the way. Let me get out the picture. Let me move over a bit. I mean, let's just use a little common sense. You know what I'm saying? Let's use a little common sense. That's all I want to say. That's all. Ugh, Lord. But yes, the moral of the story is, you know, going forward, don't let the society of like sexual liberation and all that, how you messed up. Be considerate of who you lay down with so that you don't have children with some fool. You know what I'm saying? Think about that. Think about it. You know what I'm saying? Think about it before you lay down with them. I tweeted that like sex is more than just like the physical, it's the energy exchange. And you know, and it's like about creating a new life is what the purpose of it is. And somebody retweeted and was like, no, not really. And I'm like, well, what's the purpose of sex then? Why do we have sex? If I'm lying, if I'm making stuff up, do I not have eggs that pop out every month faithfully? Ain't never missed a beat. Egg always just there, like waiting. It's always on time. Does that not happen to me? Do men not ejaculate and have hundreds of millions of sperm flow out of them? Am I tripping? Do I have it confused what sex is about? You know what I'm saying?
Nah, you ain't tripping. You ain't confused. They the ones that's confused and they don't understand what sex is about, obviously. But it seems like people done failed biology and didn't get it. Okay? Or simple biology at that. All right? There's a reason why you have an egg. There's a reason why they have a sperm. Because sex is primary purpose is for procreation. That's the primary purpose of having sex, is to procreate. And all that other stuff is secondary, but the primary purpose is to procreate. And so that's going to naturally happen. So when people start talking about, oh, it was a mistake. Oh, it was unwanted. No, it was bound to happen because that's how nature works. Okay. When you have sex, especially with unprotected sex at that, you're going to end up pregnant 9 times out of 10. And even if you do use contraception, there's still a possibility, a chance of pregnancy occurring. Okay, that's the way nature works. Nature is gonna come and go when it's ready to. All right, that's the science of it. So no, the people that's coming to this sister and telling this sister that she doesn't know what she's talking about is the ones that fucking tripping. And it's operate off their ego and not their logic.
You're wrong. All right. You feel me? Okay, I guess I'm wrong. Whatever. I'm not wrong about this. You feel me? Like, be more considerate. Think about that. So that you don't have to deal with somebody. You know, at least if you do, look at the parking enforcement driving around. They just can't be waiting to give people tickets. Anyway, I'm sorry, that's beside the point. Yeah, whoever you do lay down with, just make sure that at the bare minimum, they love themselves enough to not teach your child to hate themselves. That's all I'm saying. If we just want to summarize the gist of this live, whoever you lay down, whether or not they black or white, like I said, I won't even call it preference, but my requirement is black men. It ain't even a preference at this point. This is a requirement. This is a prerequisite to laying down with me. Are you black? Check that off the box. That's not, if you don't fit that description, then we're not going further in this process. You know what I'm saying? So that's my requirement. Whatever your requirements are, or your preferences, whatever, do your thing. But just at least lay down with someone who has enough sense to love either your blackness or love their own blackness, to where y'all ain't gonna create children that's gonna have all sorts of problems and issues that they're gonna have to deal with when they get older. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, you guys. I hope that this makes sense to you. I hope we understand that this type of logic trumps that sexual liberation stuff that everybody be talking about all the time. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I got to say. I'm about to go home and probably eat something. I haven't had nothing to eat today. But yeah, I love you guys. I love you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day, okay?
So, in all conclusion, I agree with everything she said. I mean, she nipped it in the bud. There's nothing else for me to say. She just said it. She laid it out on the table. She put it out there, so I pretty much agree. Yes, I do. So, going back to my conclusion, sexual liberation is some bullshit. And she also agrees with that as well. As you can see in the video, sexual liberation is a bunch of bullshit. Be sexually disciplined. Be sexually careful. All right. Sexual health is important. Okay. Your health comes first before anything else. Your well-being comes first. All right. So, you guys, that's all I have for tonight with this topic. These two topics, sexual liberation and the trans people and cisgender sports. So please make sure you subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, share my channel, and also be on the lookout for the video with Brother Ngozi and I talking about the gang culture in Chicago and also the drill music. So we're going to get into the topic about that, the gang culture and the drill music. So please check us out on March the 1st at 10 in the morning, Eastern time. March the 1st, 10 in the morning in Eastern time. Brother Gazy and Gozy of Team Osiris, which I am a part of, and he is the founder of. So, or one of the founders. So we're going to go on to the topic. We're going to have a good conversation. The topic is necessary, so it's very important. So that way we can all gain some clarity on what's like dealing with the gang culture and like why do the music genres such as drill music exist. Okay, so and I might talk a little bit about trap music, you know what I'm saying? Since I grew up in the A, you know what I'm saying, grew up in Georgia and grew up around that kind of music and stuff like that. We'll talk about that too. But yeah. Either way it goes, y'all take it easy on yourself. This is your girl Tiffany. And I want you all to have a good one. And please be safe. Until next time, I'll reconnect with you all later. All right. And hopefully I can feel a lot better. All right, then. Thank you. Peace.